My name's Simon Middleton. I'm behind Protek. We are a structure warranty and a site insurance provider, specialising in the self-build market as well as small development market as well. Site insurance is really important to people who are building their own homes, who are renovating, extending or even converting. At the end of the day, they face quite a few risks during that build process which they need to have adequately insured. Site insurance is very specifically designed for them and caters for it. Site insurance covers all the works in progress, the temporary works, the materials that actually go into the project. During that course of construction, the property needs to be insured for all those sort of perils. In addition, it will cover things like hired plant tools and equipment, own plant tools and equipment, public liability, employer's liability. When you have people working on site, employer's liability and public liability becomes really important, but also if you've got people helping you, friends for example, they could be insured under employer's liability as well. Personal accident, legal expenses all sort of form part of that site insurance package. Not having your site insurance in place on a self-build renovation extension project, for example, is quite a risky situation to be in because people don't realise initially what those risks might actually be. Not insuring a project and you've got a mortgage on it, for example, and there is a serious fire 2 or 3 days before you finish the build, can totally destroy that dream that you had in mind, which is why site insurance becomes so relevant. Another key area that customers really do need to think about is the provision of a 10-year structure warranty on their project. Structure warranty covers the defects in the design, workmanship, materials and components that go into the build. In order to give the customer the warranty, we have to audit it during the course of construction, and we can incorporate building control in that process. But then that check during the course of construction is really important because we can check the quality and ensure that it's actually being built correctly before issuing a 10-year guarantee at the end of the project. The guarantee itself is going to be a requirement of banks and building societies, but is a really important thing from a peace of mind perspective as well. It's really important to get a warranty organised way ahead of actually when you start to build. The designs will need to be checked prior to the works actually getting onto site, so as a minimum you need to organise it 3 or 4 weeks before you actually physically start works. If you do get to a point where you've actually started the build, you're a long way through it and you realise you do not have a structure warranty in place, it is possible to arrange them retrospectively, but they become considerably more expensive, which is why arranging it early on is really important. Structure warranties in the self-build market typically cover defects in the design, the workmanship, the materials and the components of the build. So if they get major damage, it will cover the defective weatherproofing, defective drainage for example, contaminated land, health and safety of occupants and building regulation control as well. Protek specialises in self-build site insurance and self-build structure warranties, typically for new builds, extensions, renovations and conversions. We're here to give the customers the advice that they really need. We've got a lot of experience here. We do understand exactly how these projects need to be insured. It's very important for a self-builder to talk to somebody that does understand the insurance risks that they're facing, because typically a standard broker, for example, or home insurance provider just really does not have a clue about how to arrange insurances in these areas. The insurance has to cater for the different style of project and the location, for example, of where it's actually being built. So policies need to take into consideration things like party wall agreements. If you're building very close to a neighbouring property and you're underpinning that property, you will be responsible for actually repairing any damage you do to your neighbouring property. So ensuring it correctly is absolutely key. If you're on a sloping site, for example, or you have a lot of public access issues, that's going to affect you from a public liability perspective as well. So it's really important that you don't just get the advice, but you're using an insurance policy that does actually cater for the risks that you're facing. Protek recognise that self-builders do often have the opportunity to build one house to live in and build a few others to sell on. It's a great way of actually funding your own house. We have products that enables the self-builder to be able to do that quite easily. If they want advice, the best thing to do is physically get in contact with us. We have people on the telephone with a vast amount of experience, and quotations are available on our website 24 hours a day.